we ready? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming and tuning in. Tonight, in the U.S., we are facing a lot of deaths and infection of COVID-19. So our heart goes out to those people and their families, especially in California. We're very hard hit, and it's unfortunate. But the one lesson we should learn from that is this is the demon's work. Okay, you can recognize the demon by the fact that the mind is on destruction, the mind is on killing. So be careful when we have such people who are like that. Then keep your distance. Let them do their things. You don't have to do anything. But you recognize, like the COVID-19 here is basically this wreaking death and destruction on us. The damage also comes from the fear as well. So that's why this is you can call it the COVID-19 demon. So they're killing people and they're destroying, they're causing destructions. That's what demons do. If we understand that, then as Buddhists, we should refrain from destructive behavior, even against demons, because they are killing people and so forth. We cannot do anything to them because it's the karmic retribution for those people. It's not much we can do. But what we can do is to practice and learn the skills to be able to defend ourselves. Because when the demons come, our temple has been very lucky. I keep on saying this, but you folks don't seem to take it seriously, is that we don't destroy demons, but when demons attack us, try to come and harm us, they get what they deserve. That's all. We don't need to do anything. It turns out that in physics, the force equals reaction. Okay, the reaction is the same, and when they attack us, they get the same kind of reaction that they apply in their attacks. What these demons don't realize that if they attack us Buddhists, the reaction is probably at least twice as strong as their attacks. That's why you have nothing to worry about. Let them attack. The reaction will destroy themselves. Okay? So the COVID-19 tries to come in here, come near our people, they get killed. As simple as that. We don't kill them. They come and encroach on us and try to harm us, they naturally get harmed themselves. All right? In that spirit as well, we also realize that there's a lot of people are experiencing difficulties. Families have a hard time feeding, getting food. So I checked with my people, and we have some extra bags of rice. And so I've decided that we're going to give away some bags of rice, maybe 10 bags of rice, to charity. Tomorrow, I need some volunteers to look for the nearest charity, a food bank or something. Those places are staffed with mostly volunteers, and they they are don't have a very big budget, and they always can appreciate for more food donations. So we'll give them 10 bags of rice. So, all right. So get the nearest food bank, and let's share what we have. It's not much, but that's what we have. All right. First of all, we're not a charity organization. I don't want to be known as a charity because there are plenty of organizations who are much better equipped than us to do charity work. We're not. We don't have the resources to do charity or the interest to do charity. We simply lead a spiritual life and do our spiritual work quietly. But at times like this, we should show, I would like to encourage you as well by setting an example. Yes, we pinch our rice bags, and we will, give away some rice bags, okay? This is not a publicity stunt or any such thing. If you find in your heart to be able to pinch somewhere and help others, this is the time to do it because it's when it matters. Okay. All right. Also, before we get started, I would like to congratulate one of us who has been fasting for the last. This is the 18th day. This is her first time, and she went 9 days, and she started very modest goals of 3 days, just to try it out. And then during those 3 days in the morning, she gets up in the morning and exercises like crazy. And then on the third day, so I look at her and say, "Would you like to continue?" I said, "Doesn't seem to be any problems." So lo and behold, every increment of 3 days later, tonight is her last night. She'll end her fast around 9 p.m. So congratulations, it's excellent. It's a lot of struggle, the last stretch. So I would like to congratulate her because to me it's not a big deal. She's just in a lecture right now. She'll be energized by the end of the lecture, and then another half hour to go. So it's not a big deal. So I give her a gift, Christmas gift, early Christmas gift. After lecture, go eat something. Okay. You have the same kind of blessings, if you will. Okay, no need to wait for the next half hour because you won't get enlightened. That's the only thing that interests me. Okay, so okay, good job. Okay, for this thing here, with her fast, we started. I also learned from that as well. Believe it or not, I watched her and see how she progressed in her struggle she had, and what we could do to help her and so forth. So that the fast is a supervised fast. It's I would not recommend you do it at home. If you are interested, come to the temple and we assist you, we supervise you, make sure that it's safe to do that. And so in this case here, today, we made sure that she's okay and help her when she was not even near any danger. But so that's what we do. And it's a very specialized form of ascetic practice. So we will not explain this online. It's a supervised training. So, all right. And I ask you, for those of you who receive training, to keep it to yourself, because you share it, other people become arrogant, think they know everything. They don't know there's a lot more going on behind what you know. Okay? Yeah, so, but hang in there for another hour and you'll be home free. Okay, excellent. All right. Okay, we have a YouTube comment. Okay, go ahead, YouTube.
Yeah, Diego Alfonso says, Master, there are a lot of false COVID death reports as well. Some people are dying because of other illnesses, but the medical report says it was COVID.
Yeah, COVID seems to be associated with the attack on a flu and then accompanied by the degeneration of the lungs. Okay, so that's a pair of attack. So it's a little bit more than a flu, but a lot of people died according to the medical experts. Of course, I'm not a medical expert, so you should take my opinion with a grain of salt. A lot of the people died because of underlying conditions. They weaken the immune system. The virus weakens the immune system, and that's why all the other illness have been waiting for the chance to harm those people. So when the immune system will weaken, then they attack at the same time. Okay, so it's a lot more dangerous for the people who have underlying conditions. It doesn't matter how old or young. If you're old and you're healthy, then you shouldn't have to worry about it. But you're young and you have underlying conditions, which most of us don't know. It can be very, very dangerous. Okay, and apparently in California, especially LA County, it's spreading very fast because not only because of behavior, also because there's a lot more way of contagion that the medical experts don't fully understand. Okay, we don't worry about catching it. We just meditate, and naturally, our meditation skills will kill the virus. Most of us. Okay, so that's all. So we've been lucky. Call it Wei Yang specialty or something, because, as I said last night, the typical temples are terrified of you coming to the temple because they don't want to die. No one wants to die, and we don't worry about that because we know that you need some support, and that's when you welcome to contact us and come to us for help. We don't have any fears. The one thing about the Wei Yang training I finally realized over the last 25 years is that the longer you train, the more skilled you are, the less fear you have. Okay, so that's why, frankly, when we face these problems, that's when you realize, so you learn whether you can handle it or not. You can't handle it, then you are afraid. If you learn how to deal with it, you have experience dealing with it, then you're fearless. That's all. Being fearless is a trained character. Is a trained skill. It comes with experience. All right. Here we are learning about maybe this is the last installment of that story of the son of the prime minister in China back then, this elite class who decided to rise to the occasion and open the wisdom as the biggest challenge in their life. So this elite family, son of the prime minister, decided to be a monk and to receive training. And the only training he had from the late Master Weishan was only to carry water. Okay, and he got him. He was tough. He's tough cookie. He's not going to give up. So he carried water. He supplied water for the temple. Back then, there's no running water. Supplied water for the temple, 3,000 plus people for 3 years. Never complained. Okay, and when he complained about it, then Master Weishan said, you have a breach of contract. You agree with me that you will provide water for my temple, and now you complain, and you say that your work is meaningless. So you went back on your word, so you don't deserve to be here. So get out. Okay, and this is tough man, tough young man, probably in his early 20s, no life experience, lived in comfort and protection of his prime minister father. He left. He left and settled in a mountain, obeyed the last instruction from his teacher. Okay, and here I'd like to again thank my team, my support team. The research on the Chinese and the translation to English took a lot of time and clarified a few questions, a few question marks in my mind. I listened to this story, excuse me, something like 20 years ago, 2 decades ago. It left a lot of questions that were unanswered. So finally, the past few nights, those questions were answered. So I'm grateful for that. You see, I'm learning a lot too from being here with you. We're all learning from this. Okay, so in that process, this question has been bothering me for 2 decades. I have no answers and got no information until the last few nights, and I realized, that's how he trained that superior individual. The prime minister and his sons are the elite of the elite. So he has a different way of training these people. So I find it fascinating. And the information I didn't have, because my second-rate cassette player equipment back then, 20 years ago, could not pick up all these sounds, or I couldn't understand the Chinese. So thank you for your help. I appreciate it. All right, let's continue on slide 85. So he founded a temple, and now it's called Jinshan, Gold Mountain, #1 Chan monastery in China. It's known for their pantui, their full lotus posture, and they're known for how they sit in full lotus and very narrow. Most Chinese people, most people who sit in full lotus, they spread their legs out. It's less pressure this way, okay, in a V shape. Whereas the Jinshan, they force you to sit closer. So it's a lot more pressure on the legs. So they're real famous for that. And to me, it shows the original founders' lack of understanding. Okay. Still to the date where he started teaching Chan meditation, he still stuck to that. And his temple turned out to be a lot bigger than his master's temple. And of course, because he found 3 pots of gold, 3 pots of gold in where he was practicing. And of course, it's more than that. He's the son of the prime minister. His father would be so proud of his achievement. He could build a temple. And so I'm sure the father built highways and installed cable cars and so forth to to improve the access to the temple. That's why it became very, very popular. Okay, but as usual, just because it's popular doesn't mean that you receive the best training. But it turns out the Jinshan, the Gold Mountain Temple, was bigger and even more famous than his master's temple. So, see, popularity doesn't mean it's quality training. Okay, continue, please. Question, YouTube.
Yeah, Jane asks, was Fa Hai enlightened?
Was Fa Hai enlightened? We don't know. I don't want to venture a guess. But I suspect that he's probably at least a 4th-stage arhat. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to have the blessings to build a temple that has such a strong tradition, to survive his family connections. So he has tremendous blessings. And I think my personal guess is that the 3 years there was designed by Master Lingyo to help him reach at least 4th-stage arhat when it was ripe. Okay, then the master said, for you to stay here in your environment with your character, it's not as good for you to go to go away from here. So that's Master Lingyo's genius. He saw that the young man Fa Hai, Chan Master Fa Hai, was much better off being on his own. Okay, and he's very smart, very resourceful. So for him to go on his own and start like Master Lingyo, even without the skills of Master Lingyo, when Master Lingyo first went to the mountains by himself. So I believe the Master Lingyo, the teacher, our founder, our school founder, could see that he would reach at least 4th-stage arhat. Listen, for us professionals, if we shave our head and we devote our lives to this kind of lifestyle, okay, the program, the Sangha training program, is designed to help you reach 4th-stage arhat. Okay, that's the minimum that we would consider it to be meaningful to us. Below that, personally, I feel that it would be not satisfactory to meet Shakmini Buddha's training program. That training program we have in the Sangha is very, very special. Okay, so in particular in the Weiyang tradition, we even have many more ways of training people. So we can handle people from low level to high level, okay, as well. So it's a good question. I believe he's at least 4th-stage arhat. Okay, and God knows what happens after that. The story doesn't stop after that. Even after he founded the temple and he has all these connections, nothing stops him from going to another temple to receive further training, or Master Wei Shan to send his people over. Like when he sent 3 or 4 people over. So to send his people over as guest teachers, guest trainers. and to train the young abbot as well. So there are many, many possibilities, but I base my guess from the fact that Weishan became so big in the Chan world, meaning that it has solid foundation, okay? And that comes with at least a 4-stage Arhat. They have very strong foundation, that's why. Yeah. Once you reach 4-stage Arhat, basically, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will be watching over you. Will guide you a lot more than low-level people. Okay? Because they're considered having attained small enlightenment in Mahayana, meaning they have so much potential that we can no longer ignore them. Low levels, they're just like babies. They still don't understand yet, so we can't really explain to them yet. Okay, go on.
我来讲呢，是很大的一个道场，但是这个道场很奇怪的。
This Jinshan Temple is a very big way place in China, but this way place is very strange.
在中国历朝以来，每一逢改朝换帝，就是
Since the Chinese past dynasties, every time the dynasty and emperor changed,
他那时候是元呢，唐宋要一改朝的时候，这个金山寺就会被火给烧了，烧了，然后
at that time was Yuan, Tang, Song. Once the dynasty changed, the Jinshan temple would be burned down by fire, burned down.
再由国家再给它造起来，每一逢的都是这个样子。
Then the country would build it again. Every time was like this.
所以这个在民国37年，这个金山寺也烧了。
So, on the Republic of China's 37th year, 1948, this Jinshan temple was also burned down.
所以这金山寺，他要是不愿意建这个新朝代，所以每逢改一个朝代，他就烧了一次。
So, this Jinshan temple, maybe it is unwilling to see the new dynasty, so every time the dynasty changed, it was burned once.
不愿意什么？
不愿意看这个新的朝代。啊！中国的出家人，要是没有住过金山的，没有住过高明的，那算不了一个参禅的人。
The Chinese people, the Chinese left home people, if hasn't lived in Jinshan or Gaomin, then doesn't count as investigating Chan cultivator.
必须要在这两个寺院里，或者在金山住过3年、5年、10年、20年，这一出来，这就是大参师了。
Must live in one of these two temples, either lived in Jinshan for 3 or 5 or 10 or 20 years, oh, once came out, this is a great Chan master.
在高明寺也是在那儿住了3年、5年或者10年、20年，他一出来，这也是大禅师。
At Gaomen Temple is the same. Also, if lived there for 3 or 5 or 10 or 20 years, oh, once came out, this is also a great Chan master.
一般人呢，就抢着来供养，争着来供养，恐怕供养不着。
Normal people would fight to make offerings, afraid they can't make offerings.
在金山和高明这2个地方出来的这个出家人，难怪呀，一般人争着来供养，因为呀，他的威仪。
The left home people from Jinshan and Gaomen, no wonder normal people would fight to make offerings to them.
样子，这个修行的样子非常的好，到任何地方，他和人讲话或者是做什么事情，他都是一样。
Because his awesome comportment, this cultivation appearance is very good. Any place when he talks to others or do things.
眼观鼻，鼻观口，口问心，都是这样的。
He is always the eyes contemplating the nose contemplating the mouth asking the mind, always like this.
到任何的地方，他都是端然正坐，照顾他自己的话头，所以很多佛教徒啊，对他们都生很大的信心。
At any place, he always sits proper and upright, looks after his own huatou, so many Buddhists brought forth great faithful mind toward him.
在中国的佛教啊，有真正修行，也有真正不修行。那么这个真正修行的，就是主持佛教；不修行的呢，就破坏佛教。我相信。
In Chinese Buddhism, there are people who truly cultivate and also who don't truly cultivate. Then those who truly cultivate are to upkeep and support Buddhism. Those who don't cultivate is to destroy Buddhism.
不单是在中国是这样，就到任何一个地方，都会有这2种，有修行的和不修行的。
I believe not only it's like this in China, at any place would have these 2 types of people, the ones who cultivate and the ones who don't cultivate.
那个修行的，对那不修行的，一定是很慈悲，他就修行不修行， 会原谅他。
Then the ones who cultivate must be very compassionate towards the ones who don't cultivate. Whether he cultivates or not, he would forgive him.
可是那个不修行的，对修行的，他就生出一种妒忌心，生出一种障碍心。
But the ones who don't cultivate would bring forth a jealous mind and a obstructing mind toward the ones who cultivate.
他一定想要把这个修行的，使令他也不修行，和这个不修行的是一样的，那么他就欢喜了。
He must want to make this one who cultivates, make him not cultivate either. The same as the ones who don't cultivate, then his is happy.
I think we finished the story of Master Fahai.
Okay, very good. Good story. Any questions or comments? Yes, Sabina. Green.
I was wondering, in the story, it said that every time the temple would change or the way of teaching would change, they would burn it down. Why was that?
Probably a Chinese thing. They wanted to create jobs, construction jobs. I'm kidding. We don't know, you know. Usually, when a temple burns down, it's not a good thing. Meaning that the Dharma protectors are not protecting the temple. So it's not a good thing at all. So, but then I'm not Chinese, so I don't know. I don't dare make comments like that, okay, and get in trouble with the Chinese. But yes, it's kind of strange that they got burned down and then they got rebuilt again, time and time again. So it's very interesting. So clearly, the place where that temple was is sacred ground, meaning that even though it was attacked and destroyed, there's still supporters there who will rebuild it because they want to preserve, keep this as a place that's sacred. So it's very special when it's considered sacred. They have a lot of protections. Okay, so yes, they got burned down, so forth, but then the protectors will come and build it up again. So that shows that place is very, very special. Okay, why it was burned down? We don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why. All right, any other questions? I have a problem with Master Hsuan Hua's comment towards the end. He says that there's people who cultivate and those people who don't cultivate, and they're jealous of it. No need to talk about that. Okay, it's you cultivate, you practice for yourself. It's your life. I don't know about the others, but for me, I practice because I like it. I practice because it's for me, not for you to see, not for you to approve. So I don't care if you're jealous or you like it. It doesn't matter to me. Am I making sense? It's my life. I don't need your approval. I don't need recognition. Okay? So there's no point in talking about people jealous, not jealous. That's, to me, is not necessary. Stop looking outside. If people are jealous, so are they. If people want to harm you, so much better. Okay? It doesn't matter at all. Whatever they do is their business. They're jealous. They want to obstruct you. You know, that comes with the territory. If we started a couple of weeks ago, and people, you know, the fact of the matter is that during a Chanchi, there are a lot of obstructions. a lot of attacks. Last night, we were hoping to finish this. A good thing we didn't, because I wouldn't have time to make this kind of comment. I was trying to finish, okay? But last night, when I was trying to finish this, we have, when the power is cut off. We still haven't figured out why yet, you see? So there are all kinds of problems when we have these chanqis the last 15 years. It's nothing new to us, okay? That's only the problem you can observe. There are a lot more problems I'm not telling you about, okay? So that's part of cultivation. No need to talk about it. If you're able to resolve those problems, those attacks, those obstructions, then next year we do it again. If we can't, then next year we stop. That's life, okay? That's because we fail. That's all. So, what's the point? Why bother talking about other people are jealous? Of course, people are jealous. I'm jealous. I'm not saying other people. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of my, my Dharma brothers. They're so successful. They have so many disciples. Life is so easy for them. They need to do charity work. Snap a finger, they get $20,000 worth of donations online immediately. Okay, that's how popular they are. I went to Korea a couple years ago. I went to this well-known Korean master who was introduced. I was introduced to him because he carved statues for him. Made it. So he wanted me to go see him. So I went to see him and said, wow, you're first stage arhat, and yet you have so much. And my disciples are much better than you, and we have nothing. I'm jealous. I was so jealous, so envious. I said, why not me? Because we're not Koreans. What can we say? That's just life, okay? We're all jealous of one thing or the other. That's our pettiness. Okay, there's no need to look at others' pettiness. I look at my pettiness. Why was I jealous of that Korean master? That's all that matters to me. Okay. Yeah. Yes, blue.
So I don't know. This is my own opinion. So just take it with a grain of salt. So basically, I think that it's just better to look at yourself than others. So even though, I don't know a lot about Buddhism, but even though they're first stage or 10th stage Aja,
yeah.
I mean, it's better for you to focus on yourself and to progress in life and to progress whatever you're doing and have that goal that you say, I'm going to become 5th stage Aja, and then just try to accomplish that goal.
You're a lot more Buddhist than you look. What can I say? Yeah, so that's precisely my point. There's no point in talking about other people being jealous of us or obstructing us. It comes with territory. You do something that's important, that's good, people will come and obstruct you. That's a good thing. The obstruction to me is a good thing. I welcome it. Okay? I'm not afraid of it. Go ahead. Give it your best. Try to obstruct me. Okay? Yeah. So, because with the obstructions, then we learn how to deal with them. That's all. No problems. Okay? And you're right. It's not about whether we get recognition like the Chinese says. They say, oh, you lived at those Gold Mountain and Gaomin temple, and then you're a true master. Okay, that works fine. That works fine at lower levels. Okay, they need to have the mass, so they need to support these people who practice, who receive training, and they deserve support, and that's fine. Okay, but that's not what we are about. We're not interested in support. I really feel you should go and support the other temples before you support us. Because the other temples need more than we do. We have enough, okay? We make do. We don't, if we have it, we have food, we eat. Don't have food, we fast. So what's the big deal? We can't say, oh, how come we have so much, my neighbor temple is so big, so rich, and so have so many cars, so many disciples, and so much food, much better food than ours. Why can't we be like that? Because we're true cultivators. Are you kidding me? How can you be that petty? If they have good things happening to them, you should be happy for them. Don't be so petty. Okay? I'm happy to see that people are helping you build your churches and your temples and synagogues. That makes me happy. I have no problems with that. Okay? Yeah. And whatever leftovers that comes our way, that's fine too. If nothing is left, that's fine too. We manage to survive somehow. Okay? That's what the spiritual practice is about. Our founder went to work with nothing. You came this world with nothing. So what's the big deal? Okay? So to me, you shouldn't be talking about other people being jealous. You should talk about yourself being jealous. Okay? And if these masters have received support because they stayed there 3 or 4 years, so much better for them. But you're right. We're not doing this to get support, to get comfortable. We're doing this to find something that's meaningful to us. To us. Not to you. Okay? Whatever you think, whatever you do, is your business. Okay? So it's no point talking about someone not cultivating. It's none of our business. They cultivate, don't cultivate. It's none of our business. Okay? Mind your business. Do your things. Okay? And I'm of the beliefs that we should follow our convictions and make sense out of this the time we put into this. That's the main thing, and hopefully you have it's not about blessings. Blessings is only secondary. The main thing is that all this is to help you become a better people. That's all. Okay? If you don't improve, you don't become better, then this is not the temple for you. Okay? That's our contract with you. All right? We should all strive to be better at all levels. I'm not asking you to become enlightened. I'm only dangling in front of you and see if that interests you. That's all. But it takes time. Yes, green, blue, whatever.
Like for me personally, I think this temple has helped me become a better Catholic, and I'm really happy about that.
I'm sorry, come again?
This temple has allowed me to become at least a little bit better Catholic than I was before. So
it sounded good, but I didn't quite catch it. It's
that this temple has helped me become a better Catholic, at least closer to my religion. So I'm very happy and glad about that. So
I'm glad for you. I had a very rough career. Let me put it that way. So I came from very, very poor. When I left my master's temple, they put an advertising in their, put our word out in their own followers. My master has a lot of followers. And so he put the words and said, this guy broke precepts and he should not be supported. Okay, he's a reject. And so I walked around with a tail between my legs and say, I'm a reject, I'm a reject, I'm a reject. So, and somehow I survived. And without having to ask for any help from them or from anyone, for that matter. And this funny thing it happened, I went to the other Chinese temples and they welcome me with open arms and say, oh, we welcome you from that place. So just like they talked about here. Yeah, I was there for 4.5 years, therefore I'm worthy of offerings. Even though I was only a novice. Whereas my old master temple said, no, he's not worthy of offerings. So it helped me actually. It helped me decide very early in my life that if I were to continue this, okay, it has to make sense to me. I don't need your support. I don't need your approval. Okay, whether you approve it or not, it has to make sense to me. Okay, and eventually it is the patriarchs and the sages that will have to decide. Okay, I don't worry about people's opinion. I aspire to one day reach that level so that you say, and they say, wow, then all this hardship would have been worth it. Okay, until then, it doesn't matter, whatever. Okay, so the hardship actually made me a lot tougher. Okay, so it's don't be afraid of obstruction. Don't be afraid that people are jealous and obstruct you and try to harm you. All those are very good for your cultivation or your practice. Okay, in my humble opinion. So I disagree with my late Chinese master. Let's not talk like that. It's no point. Embrace them. If they don't cultivate, to me, it's also cultivation, if you ask me. Okay? If they come here, they don't cultivate. To me, they're cultivating. In a way they don't even know. So I give them a chance to hear and pretend to cultivate and so forth, and then try to fit in. And that is cultivation to me, okay? Until the blessings run out, then they have to leave. That's life, okay? So be it. But it's, to me, cultivation, not cultivation, doesn't matter. It's none of my business. Okay. Okay. So when you talk like people who don't cultivate and are jealous of you, to me, it's like it's petty. None of our business. Okay. It's their lives. You have to be respectful enough. They choose to be a better Catholic, so be it. Okay? Yeah. Yes, Green.
This is slightly unrelated, but I've been wondering this for a while. If the bun, when the Buddha has the bun and that attracts energy, how come the monks shave their head?
Good question. How come the Buddha has hair and a bun on top of his head, and we have to shave our head? No one ever asked me this question before, so I need some time to think about it. Okay, you guys help me out while I think about it. Hey, Mr. Catholic, you have an idea? Anyone else? can help me out. Oh, now he wants to help. Okay, while he talks, I will check on my, do a search here.
Thanks, sir. I think because maybe Buddhists want to be detached of all attachments. So if your hair is an attachment, you take it off. Maybe.
Is that Catholic teaching?
No, that's just what I heard from you.
You cannot use my Buddhist thing against me. That's not fair. I can't answer her, or you use my own Buddhist things to answer her. That hurts. And anyone else? Okay. YouTube has the answer. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah,
Remember these names.
Jewel Mountain.
They can make one mistake. Okay?
What was the-
They can have one, what is it, get out of jail free card when I ask for help, and they can help. Yes, YouTube.
Jewel Mountain says it's because there's no time to wash.
You save a lot of soap, honey. You know, without hair, you use a lot less soap and water. Water is so expensive nowadays. It's interesting that the Buddha had hair, right? It's funny, look at all our statues, okay, except for Ersto Bodhisattva back there in the corner. He has no hair on his head, but most of the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas have hair. It's interesting. And I'm not sure why it's the case, but why the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas look like that. So they have their reasons, and I'm not privy to those reasons. Okay, maybe someday when I become a Bodhisattva, I understand. But for us, monks, I can answer the second part of the question. For us monks, we shave our heads. It's because the Buddha taught us to shave our head. So you can extrapolate and say that we shave our head because it makes it easier for us to join the ranks. Okay? So we can let go of the attachment to the hair, as Mr. Catholic says. YouTube answer.
Jane says it's because there was no sharp blades in the ancient times.
That's because in the past, the first monks who that the Buddha allowed to become a monk, okay, they had hair. So the Buddha said, at the time, the ceremony is very simple. He says, Buddha says, I allow you to become a monk. So he says, I allow you to become a monk. He said 3 times the hair fall off. No need to shave. They fell off. Okay. So the Buddha used his spiritual penetrations so he was showing off. He says, you have to be different than me. I have hair, you cannot have hair. Yes, Blue.
Master, when the prince first left home, he shaved his head.
Right.
So I think the monk are keeping that tradition.
Right. They kept the tradition, but they need a reason more than just a tradition. Okay. Actually, the question is a lot more perceptive than you think, because there's a reason why the monks were taught to shave their head and not supposed to keep their hair. Okay, it's very good reasons. And I'm just not sure why the Buddha chose to have hair on their heads, even have curly hairs. You know, it's a mark of great men. The hair, the Shakyamuni Buddha's hair Buddha's hair actually curls has a curl in it. Okay, and so it's very special. It's not regular hair either. So. I'm not sure. Yeah, YouTube has some ideas.
Diego says, because he was liberated already from any attachment, he was the same with or without hair.
Yeah, actually, in contrast, my late master, Chinese master, when he was practicing, I don't think he shaved his hair at all, or beard at all. He emerged from his long sits. His hair is very long, and beard and everything. So, and then he stayed that way for some times as well. So you see, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas have their own ways of doing things that we don't know, we don't understand, and so it's a challenge to me. It's just like the story of this Faha here. I had some questions to how he became enlightened, how he was trained, because in my mind, Master Weishan would not have accepted him as a disciple without intending to train him. Okay, so there was so much information that was lacking. I couldn't form a picture of how he was trained. Until this week. That's why I'm very grateful. It bothered me for a long, long time. Yes, you too.
Chris Wolf says, it's because the pictures are symbolic, like the statues where Buddha has long ears. It symbolizes a conscious rejection of the material world in favor of spiritual enlightenment.
Actually, it's more than just symbol. Actually, the Buddha's ears are very long, very, very long. Okay, it's called the mark of a great person, a great hero. 大人相, great hero's mark, appearance of a great hero. His ears are so long, very long. Long there symbolize longevity, but then it's funny, longevity, he died at the age of 80 anyway. and Z's grandma is 101 right now, right? So even his disciples live longer than the Buddha himself. So yes, YouTube answer.
So Jewel Mountain says, so back then, it's so people can spot where the Buddha is among all the Sangha.
Yeah, it would help, I guess. But you don't need the hair, actually. The Buddha is a very interesting phenomenon, if you will. Okay? Yeah. If you're in the presence of the Buddha, doesn't matter what level you are. Doesn't matter at all. You feel so happy. You look at the Buddha, in your heart, you feel so happy. Okay? That's what's special about the Buddha. It doesn't matter whether he has hair or not. Shakyamuni Buddha, our Buddha, when he was alive, people came to him, one look at him, and said, oh, they happy in their heart. They couldn't express why. They couldn't determine why. Okay? And that is a gift from the Buddha to everyone who came to see him. They could be depressed. They could be bipolar. Okay? They could be paranoid. They could be, cuckoo. Okay? They could be a king who's so ruthless. Okay? So greedy, so cruel, so arrogant. But they look at the Buddha and say, wow, they feel different. They feel better about themselves. And that to me is such a wonderful gift. You can give someone like that. So it's not, the hair, all those things are simply what they chose, the Buddhas chose to manifest to us, okay? Meaning the great hero's mark, the mark of a great hero. You look at them, you know that these individuals are exceptional, okay? So they have these marks. The hands are so long that the hands, they reach below the knees. They would be fantastic basketball players, you ask me. Great defense. You go like this, and your hands cover the entire court. Huh? They're 9 feet tall. To dunk the ball, NBA season has started, by the way, recently. To dunk the ball, they don't even have to lift, they don't have to jump, they just say, toop. Okay? So it's so cool to have those things. So, they have these great hero appearances, but it's more than that. It's what happens in our heart that is so interesting. So the outside, the hair and the ears and so forth, are just affirmations, confirmations for us that this person is special. That's all. Just like regular people need to know that, this monk who has stayed at 3 years at the city of 10,000 Buddhas, or nowadays Gao Bin, is the Gold Mountain still around? I don't know. It's still around. Okay. So, you stayed 4 years in Gold Mountain and so forth, and that's fine. That's a good thing. Okay. Jewel Mountain has a question.
Question from Jewel Mountain. Why did the master leave 8.5 coins and told him to stay there after spending it? So I guess she's referring back to this story.
What? I'm losing my hearing. I really have a hard time listening to some people. Some of the frequencies don't register at all. I need to go do fundraising, huh? Master needs hearing aids. Yes.
The question was...
what is the question again?
Why did the master leave 8.5 coins and told him to stay there after spending it?
8.5 points, what?
From yesterday's story.
What?
The 8.5 coins from the story of Fahai. So the master gave Fahai 8.5 coins when he expelled Fahai and said, wherever you spend this money, that's where you stay.
Yeah, that's the wisdom of great master Ling Yo. He's only the great sages. When they teach you, they only give you enough. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. So he says, you need money. The guy asked for money. Fahai asked for money. He said, okay, I'll give you money. That's reasonable. I give you this amount of money. Wang, to, okay? But then 8.5 coins, because that's all he needed. Okay, and so also, by the way, it's a test as well. Because if Fahai, or especially you, smart Alex nowadays, immediately says 8.5 coins. That's the equivalent to $100. Okay, you say $100. That's not a whole lot. Nowadays a burger is $10 already. I can't go very far. Can you give me a little bit more? But no, it's a test, and Fahai passed the test. That's a beautiful thing about that. Fahai is an extraordinary individual. He's such a tough cookie. He asked for money. The master said, okay, I'm going to give you money. And Fahai did not negotiate. Okay? You would negotiate. I know you. Yeah, you, all of you right there, would negotiate. You're too smart. Fa Hai says, this is all you can spare for me? Thank you. It's tough. And that's how I believe he eventually became a fourth-stage arhat. Okay? And a fourth-stage arhat is enough to have Gold Mountain last for a few thousand years. Okay. So, yes, Black.
Như Đức Phật. Cái chuyện này con mới biết hồi hôm thôi, nhưng mà sau khi thầy giảng xong rồi con có cái kết hợp là cái ngài Linh Hữu đó rất là trí tuệ. Cái người thường thôi người ta còn nhìn cái người đệ tử, người ta biết là người đệ tử này 3 năm nữa như thế nào và sẽ chết như thế nào, sống như thế nào, người ta cũng biết. Không nhiều vị thiền sư, đại thiền sư. Chẳng hạn như ngài Huệ Năng, khi mà lục tổ, ngũ tổ chở ngài qua sông rồi hỏi bây giờ con đi đâu? Lục tổ mới nói đến hoài thì đại khái con không nhớ rõ, đến hoài thì ẩn mà tính hội thì dừng. Nói vậy thôi. Ngài Huệ Năng không biết hoài là gì, hội là gì. Thì tới cái ấp hoài là gặp thợ săn thì ẩn trong đó. Rồi 15 năm sau ngài nghỉ đủ rồi ngài đi ra thì gặp cái ấp hội, trúng cái tên như vậy, ngài ra ngài gặp giảng kinh Niết Bàn. Thì tổ đã chỉ định biết trước cái ngài Huệ Năng sẽ gặp cái gì. Thì đêm qua thầy giảng thì con nghĩ ngài Linh Hữu này cũng vậy. Biết cái ông này, cái mạng, cái số ông này sẽ gặp cái bến đò như vậy và cái chùa đó sẽ ở như vậy. Bây giờ cho mày 8 năm rưỡi thôi, gặp cái ông đò mày lấy 8 rưỡi mày trở về, không có tiền trở về nữa. Phải ở đó thôi. Rồi gặp 3 hũ vàng mới lên cái cơ nghiệp. Thì cái ông Linh Hữu này chỉ định cái ngài đệ tử này giống như ngài Huệ Năng mà được ngũ tổ chỉ định mày sẽ tới ấp đó mày dừng, tới kia mày ẩn. Khi mà lúc nào ngài lục tổ hỏi chứ con đi đâu? Thì con khi nào con gặp hoài thì dừng, gặp hội thì ẩn.
So basically, he's saying that the old monk is saying that that's the precision of the instruction of Master Ling Yo. Just like the great masters, they give you such precise instructions. There's many explanations for those, but I'm not going to go into them because to me, the main point here is you can praise them and say they have spiritual penetration, you can see this, you can see that, and so forth. They're all true, okay? But that's not the point of the lesson to me, okay? There's so many different variations, but the point here is that is not clear from that story. I didn't care to go into great details because almost 9 o'clock. I'm trying to stretch it out for you. See, you're wide awake. What did I tell you? Huh? You're energized now. You can go for another half hour easily, right? That's why it's no more challenge. I allow you to cut it off. You're supposed to suffer. You're not suffering, I'm not interested. What I read from that story, 8.5 coins, is not 8.5 coins. What I read from that story is that guy is very special. That's how he trained him. He says, you want money? That's reasonable. I'll give you money, okay? And the guy did not negotiate, okay? So he says, if the master deemed that I only need 8.5 coins, I'll take 8.5 coins. Pass the test right there. If he negotiated, he would not have made it. It's not 8.5. It's a test. Could be 12, could be 6, could be 5, doesn't matter. What matters is that, see, you people are so impressed by that, people say, oh, the master gave me 8.5 coins. Oh, wow, how precise. No, it's not that. It's not a big deal, and that is never a big deal. What's a big deal is the test. This is so, it's a test to that young man, smart aleck. He's very smart. He could hold his tongue for 3 years. You know how intellectuals are. They say, why? Yes, why? Smart people are like that. Why? Why do you ask me to do this? Why do I have to carry water? He held his tongue for 3 years. He passed the test for 3 years. He's a tough cookie. He says, okay, you throw me out, fine. I want me to travel, I need money. He says, you need money? Reasonable. Here's money. Did he negotiate? No. First test, that's passed. Okay, so he left. What did he do? Because the master says, here's the money, you travel, whatever. Okay, go this direction, go. So he says, I only have so much. I'm gonna be thrifty and not use it all if I can. If I can help it. So he saved his money, okay, until he had to pay the ferryman because he decided he had to cross the river. So he crossed the river. He said, that's it. I have no choice. I have to go in that direction, and there's a river stopping me, so I have to cross the river. And the price happened to be exactly 8.5 coins. So he said, okay, since I have to cross the river, I'll cross the river. Okay? So along the way, what did he do? He obeyed his master's instructions. He did not question it. If you find a good no advisor, you find a great teacher like Master Ling Yo. I know most of you will say, why? Yes? Why do you tell me to do that? Why do you ask me to do that? Why don't you do that? Why do you ask me, to do this? It doesn't make sense to me. Because you're an idiot. And you failed the test. If you meet a good no advisor, this is demonstrated in these stories, these great disciples, these great teachers. When the teacher tells you something, do it. If he has explained it to you, then it doesn't work anymore. You have to make sense to you, then you won't make it. Let me repeat. If you understand the instructions, you will not make it. It's very weird. And so this is what the Chinese gave us. That is not explained to the Chinese because, again, remember, population control, too many Chinese. Don't need to have them succeed. Let them fail. Too many. But we Americans, how many of you are exposed to Mahayana? We have no choice but let you in on these little secrets. Don't ask why! So this guy, the master, he met this great teacher who says, carry water. He carried water. He made a mistake. Okay, he says, I don't want to carry water anymore. This doesn't make sense to me. You're out. Second lesson. Okay? Lesson number 3. Where do I go? Here's money. Go that direction. 3 lessons that help him make it. That's it. That's because he's inferior. Master Ling Yo, to another student, he says, let me ask you a question. What is the sound of one hand clapping? And this guy is erudite. He read all the Buddhist scriptures. He read all the Taoist scriptures, all the scriptures in the world. He read them all. And the master says, what? You know everything, right? So what's the sound of one hand clapping? Tell me. Let me go back to some research. That's it. One instruction, one question. And later he became enlightened, something like 20, 30 years later. That's why I don't think Fa Hai is enlightened because of that. He asked too many questions. You got my drift? Okay. Are you superior? You recognize that a great teacher doesn't waste time. When he tells you to do something, you do something. So that's what happened to Fa Hai. He got to the end right there of the money. He says, what did the master tell me? I cannot go home now. Okay? I cannot. I want to continue as a monk. So what do I do? So what does he have? Back to the instruction. The only thing he learned is that stop where you are. I stop, and then what? Become a ferryman? No. He has to continue the life of a monk. So he observed it for 3 years already. So he lived like a monk on his own. So the moral story is that in the end he succeeded because he obeyed the instructions. But he's low level, that's why. That's why the instructions are not that good for him. The other guy is much better. What does it sound? One hand clapping. It drove him nuts for 20 years. This guy is Fa Hai's challenge is much smaller. Okay, so same thing. Someone showed me videos of Master Hsuan Hua instructing monk. I give you some money to go somewhere and say this is so precise. Baloney. It's not that. These people are so. You people are so easily enamored by these this knowledge and so forth. It's not what Wei Yang is about. Wei Yang is a lot of tests. You fail? Goodbye. Loser. Fa Hai is a loser. No two ways about it. You a loser. Get up. So therefore, your accomplishment is that of a loser only. In a Wei Yang lineage. So am I supposed to be impressed? No, I'm not. With Fa Hai. You understand? He's a loser. He's evicted. He's not taught all the way. So the Chinese are impressed by this gold mountain monastery. I'm not. I wouldn't go there. Sorry. I don't go to losers' places. Are you kidding me? Just because a lot of people go there doesn't mean I want to go there. Okay? All right. Good question. But I'm thank you for the question. It's don't be like the Chinese who are so impressed by these things. 8.5. How precise the instruction. Oh, please. It has nothing to do with Wei Yang at all. This is an instruction and a teaching from a Wei Yang master. It's not 8.5 coins. See if you're going to ask why. Idiot. All right. Are we done? We done with the tape, right? Okay. There's some, also they did very good research as well and added some teaching from Master Wei Yang in writing. It's not Master Hsuan Hua's things. And some more Chan interchanges between Master Wei Shan and the other disciples. So there are two parts. One part is what he teaches his disciples, okay, general instructions, okay, during his Dharma talks. And then the other part is how he talked to the other disciples. Let me be honest with you. The part where he talked to his other disciples, there's quite a few I don't understand. I don't have enough information to decide to be able to understand why he said certain things. I need a lot more information than that, okay? For me to take a stab in the dark like that would be a waste of your time, okay? So we're not going to go into those. The section where we go into those when I have more information in the future, so not now, okay? I don't think it's a good use of our time. The instruction that he has for his disciples, let me give you quickly, and I apologize, I have 15 more minutes. I only lied to this woman. I thought I let her quit. Actually, I'm not letting her quit. You know me. I like to torture people, that's all. Eighth one? This one? Yeah. Yeah. So he, 126. So there is a section where, okay, right here, 126, where this, he started by teaching the people there. That would be of interest to me if you're interested, okay? Sometimes I don't want to explain to you too much about what he says the other Chan masters, okay? That's too much for you. I don't care to go into that. But these teachings are important. These are fundamentals, teaching the Wei Yang, okay? So, it's still next time. We still have 2 more nights, right? Weeknights. So tomorrow we go into this, but cut off only this section until it gets to the beginning of the interchange between him and the other Chan masters. Then we stop, okay? If you're interested. Now the next tape, is it on Ling Yo or is it going to be something else?
This tape is not completely finished, just this story is finished.
There's more?
It's something else. Master Hsuan Hua is going to talk about his 100 days chant, like their practice over there. About they sit 21-hour a day, not afraid of hardship.
But that's not Ling Yo.
No.
Okay, so let's stick with Wei Shan first, because it's a treasure to be able to try to decipher what Master Wei Shan taught his disciples. Okay, it would be useful for us to see how much Master Wei Shan taught at that time, and how much Master Hsuan Hua preserved that or interpreted for our times. That is of interest to me. That's why I'm curious. We can go into this section next time, okay? 127. All right? Okay, we stop here then, if you have no more questions. Okay, thank you all. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, right? Okay. All right. Yeah, congratulations. Look at that. 10 more minutes. Very good.